So, for years I've been loving Crash Bandicoot. I've probably went through all of the Crash games. And yeah, I'm still trying to beat Crash Bash with my brother. That's one hell of a game. But one thing I haven't touched was the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. Yup, the remaster. So now, with Crash Bandicoot 4 coming to the horizon, I decided that it's the perfect time to go back and play the original 4 Crash Bandicoot games from Naughty Dog and from the PS1 era and see how they compare to the new 4 Crash Bandicoot remakes and how they stand up to its predecessors. And for that, I'll be turning off my nostalgia goggles and I'll try to make a conclusive opinion on which I actually prefer. So, let's just jump into Crash Bandicoot from 1996 for the PS1 or the PSX, however you want to call it. Now, with this game, I have only some bad memories, being too hard. Well, playing it nowadays, I actually don't find this game that hard, but I still think that it aged as poorly as it could get. Okay, let's start with the story. The plot in this game is basically Dr. Neocortex is experimenting on animals, turning them into his little furry army that's going to help him in his quest for world domination, I guess. But one of his experiments goes wrong. The subject escapes, and here starts your big adventure with our cute little Bandicoot, or middle-aged Bandicoot, I don't know. Yeah, the story is pretty basic and pretty cool, but back then it wasn't that overused, saving a female character from an evil villain. Wait, did I even mention that there was a female Bandicoot? Oh well. But you know, you might not even know the plot of the game because the cutscene that explains what happens in it is kind of hidden. I mean, the first time you boot up the game, you have to wait on the main menu for like 2 or 3 minutes and then the cutscene starts. What? My brother didn't even know that there was a cutscene at all. Did they think that kids couldn't sit through a 2-minute cutscene? Oh boy. Anyways, the visuals are really impressive for its time, and to add to the fact that this is one of the first 3D platformers on the PS1, oh, the visuals are pretty amazing if you ask me. All of the levels are vibrant, colorful and full of details. The facial animations on Crash are also pretty funny and way exaggerated, but most impressive for me were the plants and the jungle locations overall, because oh my god, these are so dense. I haven't seen like a PS2 game with that much detail in it. And that's on the PS1. Now the animations on the other hand, I would say that they're not that good, but they do their job and help the game sell the feeling of this cartoon-like world, especially with these death animations. They're like pretty much the best thing about it. Except the running animation, I absolutely hate that. It's pretty bad and he looks like he just shat his pants and he's looking for the closest toilet to go to. Anyways, the voice acting is also pretty solid, which you might not even know that it exists because it's in the cutscene that they hid away for some reason. But now you might be asking yourself, wait, you said you had bad memories of the game. Well, yeah, I said it. Those bad memories start immediately when I push forward on the controller. Oh, the gameplay is bad. Oh yeah, I said it. The gameplay felt so sluggish and unresponsive that I wanted to break my controller in half. At first, it's not that bad. Okay, I admit it, it's not that bad at first. You run, you jump, you spin, you collect Wumpa fruit, it's all fun and games. But after a couple of levels, when the levels start getting a little challenging, the problems just start shining through. I started to feel just how bad the controls were. First of all, you can only run in 8 directions because at the time we didn't have the DualShock. We had the Monoshock or the No Shock, but it still feels very stiff. I'm not gonna give it the benefit of the doubt. The game also has this stupid thing when you do a spin attack, your movement gets locked moving forward. So as soon as that happens, you pretty much have to cancel that by pushing the opposite direction to stop yourself from falling off the fucking edges. This may sound like a small thing, but it makes the levels so much harder than they actually are. Crash also feels so heavy when he's jumping, when he's running. I'm not saying he should be making these space jumps. I actually hate space jumps, but at least loosen up the jumping a little bit. And on top of all that, he always has this weird acceleration on him. I can't even explain it how it works. Some other platformers have that too, but in this game it just feels bad. Like when you're playing it, you will feel it and it feels bad. So yeah, the main gameplay, I'm not very impressed by it. The second type of gameplay, you have these hog riding levels, which are pretty cool in concept, but the controls are still bad. And I think they're even worse on these levels than the main controls for like the main game. I can't even explain how they managed to screw this up. It's like an on-rail section where you have to dodge things, and they still managed to fuck that up. The third gameplay section, or style or type, whatever you want to call it, is where Crash runs for his dear life. And these are pretty much the best types of levels, for me anyways. They still use the main controls and the 8 directions of running, but I think the levels were designed way better. They were really good, and it was a good thing to keep them because they break off the pace of the game a little bit and pretty much keep the game from becoming boring. So yeah, the gameplay has a lot of issues in it. Okay, it's a very old game, and to be honest, like, it's the first Crash game, so I'm not going full out destroying this game just because it's the first of its kind, and I think it's the first Naughty Dog platformer game. So okay, but there's one thing. One of my biggest problems with this game actually doesn't come from the gameplay. It's the save system. How did you manage to screw this up? Like, the save system, this is one of the simplest things to do in video games, and you managed to fuck that up. Let me tell you how they fucked that up. You can only get a save. Are you listening? Do you listen to me closely? You only get to save the game if you complete a bonus level or if you get a gem. What? Why would they do this? This makes no sense. I thought the purpose of a bonus level is to get a bonus challenge or some extra lives, not to save your game. It's just so cryptic. And on top of that, the game doesn't save the lives you've collected while playing it. I had 60 or 70 lives when I reached the final island, but I was tired and I didn't continue. When I came back the other day, I opened my save to find that I had 5 lives. Are you telling me I have to beat the final island that includes one of the most notorious, hard and merciless levels in the game with 5 lives? Are you fucking kidding me? Oh my god. And I did it. I did it, but if you ask me, just use an emulator with save states or just beat the whole game in a single playthrough. Even if you go for 100%. The game is not that long, but oh my god, that save, just don't save. Don't save in this game. Save only when you're at 100% just so you have bragging rights, but otherwise don't save in this game. Oh my god. So overall, this game doesn't hold up very well gameplay wise. It shows us its age with pride. The look of the whole game isn't that bad actually, and the visuals are very impressive even for its time, even though it's the PS1. The enemies are very fun to deal with, and the level design isn't actually that bad. Also, the bosses were pretty easy, which was kind of a surprise to me. Now, would I recommend this game is the question, and I would recommend it only if you play it as a trilogy. Otherwise, I don't know if it's really worth coming back to it. Although it painted the way for many platformers to come, it just really shows its age, and I'm just baffled. Like, if this was my first Crash Bandicoot game, I probably wouldn't have touched the other Crash Bandicoot games, but good thing for me that I actually played the third one first, so yeah.
Side note. ASMR, bitch.
So, one thing I don't understand about the story, if Crash went crazy after the experiment and ran away, why did he come back to fight Dr. Cortex? It was never implied that he had any relationship with the female Bandicoot that was captured, and if he went crazy, how does Crash even remember that female Bandicoot anyways? Well, I guess it's just the power of love. I gotta say, even though I beat this game 100%, I'm not bragging, but still, just look at that screen. I felt pretty satisfied, but I still wouldn't complete this game a second time, to be honest. I'm gonna complete it if someone offers me $1 million, but nobody's that crazy. Are you? Are you that crazy? And yeah, a little story time. I played this game on an emulator because my disc was scratched, and when I reached the Lost Island, the game always crashed on me. I even got this weirdest glitch that I've ever seen. Like, everything went nuts. Like, honestly. just look at this. So if you like this video, you know what to do. That's all from me, and thanks for watching. Peace, and I'm out.